Growing up in Atlanta, I was influenced a lot by, it's a lot of culture in Atlanta, a lot of black people. Once I actually started going out to other states, and I'm like, oh, it feels different to me because I'm like, oh, it's not like home. Like, I'm used to seeing the elite black people drive the nicest cars, have the nicest houses. And that's something I've always like looked up to. When it comes to music, it's been a part of my family. So my granddad, my mom, my grandmother, they were all very, on my mom's side, everybody's very musical. So my mom, she taught me piano when I was somewhat a kid. That's just a kid. I can't remember what age, but so she taught me to read music. So I've always played piano classically, and it was just a lot of influence just inside of the household when it came to music. I started doing Broadway when I was like 7. So I was doing Broadway shows kind of at our famous theater, the Fox Theater in Atlanta, and just doing a lot of that. And I guess it was worked out for me. So the classical music, I especially when I'm doing live performances, I kind of mesh it with whatever I'm performing, whatever other hit or classic song that I'm performing, and I think it meshes well together. How classical music influenced me the most, I think just it really helped with my piano skills, and I play the guitar, so it's a lot different than the piano, but it's still an influence on learning how to read music, and then it kind of gives you that drive to want to play by ear and all those kind of things. But when it comes to theory and all of that stuff, classical is very tedious. So you have to kind of know what you're reading and know the different notes and why they're going this way. It's a feeling to it, but it's not all just feeling. It's definitely technical. So just being able to point out the technicalities in the music, I think that really helped a lot with knowing what I'm doing when it comes to just writing a song or singing a song on stage and knowing what key it's in and all these different moving parts, actually being able to understand what's going on. So when did I first know that I really wanted to put my all into music? It was really when I went to Grammy Camp, maybe when I was maybe like 15 years old. Grammy Foundation, the Grammy Foundation, they hold a camp in LA, and I want to say they expanded it now to like Tennessee, Memphis, and maybe New York or something like that. But a long time ago, when I was 15, I got accepted into Grammy Camp as a songwriter, and I had maybe 2 or 3 songs that were accepted, which one got dropped. But the fact that it was originally accepted, it was the most that was accepted by any songwriter. And I think between that and we had a show at the end of the camp at the El Rey, just all of that together, it really was like, okay, I want to do this. So I kind of put everything into that. And when I got back home, I was like, all right, Ma, I think I figured it out. So when I told my parents I wanted to do music, my mom, she's always been like super supportive of it. Because something that she always says is like, if something that I always, this is kind of side note, but I used to work with a guy named AJ. He always called me the chocolate Alicia Keys because I always play the keys or whatever. And so my mom, she would say, well, I mean, if Alicia Keys could do it, why can't she do it? Which is like, it's like the simplest thing to think about, like, if somebody else has done this, why can't I do it? And so she's always just been very supportive of that. My dad, he kind of is like a go with the flow. He's like, just, I don't want to be paying for nothing. But he still will. But he's kind of like, he hopes it works out so I can buy him a car or something. I don't know. Growing up, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Destiny's Child, those were like my go-to albums. So my dad, I think his Christmas gift and birthday gifts to everybody was like a CD. And those were the CDs that I got. I mean, I remember getting like all type CDs, the Justin Timberlake, the Kelly Clarkson. And I don't know, it was just, I just remember it. I think it brings back such good memories. And I just remember like singing my little heart out to all these different Destiny's Child songs, and this is I can't remember the name of the album, but this is like the Say My Name album, and Jumpin' is on there. So they're like all these different songs that are still classics to this day, you know? So just, I think it just gives me a really good feeling to think about like the good times I had just listening to them and their music during, you know, my childhood. The way I would describe my music is a urban sound, but I feel like I fit in more than one bubble. So R&B is like, I say urban because it can be like a pop urban, and the song I just had is closer to like an Afro beats. It has Lord Africana on it. It's a really dope song called Guess. So I personally describe it in the urban realm because I am black and it has soul in it, and sometimes I have a driving bass to it, but sometimes it can switch up to be more like pop style. So it varies, but it's definitely in the urban market.